To burn fat, you don't actually need to spend hours jogging on a treadmill. Your body responds far more to the intensity of your output than to the total duration of it. This graph compares steady-state cardio to high-intensity interval training. After a steady run, your calorie burn drops back to a flat line almost immediately. But after an intense burst of exercise, your body goes into an oxygen debt. It's forced to consume extra energy to recover, maintaining this massive, elevated calorie burn curve for hours after you stop moving. It's an effect called EPOC. To trigger that effect, you only need 3 things: a clear space on the floor, a soft surface like a mat, and a device to track intervals. Because human biology heavily rewards brief, maximal exertion over prolonged, moderate effort, a lack of time is no longer a valid barrier to getting fit. This timer visualizes the core framework of our circuit. You'll push hard for a 45-second work zone, then recover during a 15-second rest zone. This ratio creates the oxygen debt, giving you just enough recovery to avoid burning out. The first movement is the squat in and out jump. It serves as your primary activator, firing up your glutes and quadriceps right out of the gate. Watch this side profile alignment. A common mistake is letting your chest fall forward, putting strain on the knees. To fix this, drive your hips backward and distribute your weight perfectly down into your heels. If you're in an apartment or need to protect your joints, remove the jump. Simply rise up onto your toes, then step out into the squat. This keeps the noise down while maintaining the exact same muscle engagement. Locking in these lower body mechanics protects you from injury and sets the metabolic baseline you need for the rest of the 15-minute circuit. From there, we move to the upper body with a push-up to knee tuck. This targets both your chest and your core simultaneously. Look at this structural line from the head, through the hips, down to the heels. During the push-up, you must keep this alignment completely rigid. Sagging hips or an arched back will lead straight to pain. To safely modify this, execute the push-up from your knees to protect your spine. Then, pop back up to your toes to drive the knee tucks. Movement number 3 is our primary heart rate driver, the burpees straight into a 4-count mountain climber. Even as your lungs burn, you cannot let your depth or your form degrade for the sake of going faster. Keep the movements deliberate. If you need to avoid the harsh impact of hitting the floor, swap the burpees for alternating reverse lunges with a reach. It drives your heart rate up without the heavy landing. Alternating structural upper body resistance with a total body cardio driver creates the exact conditions necessary to trigger the EPOC afterburn we talked about earlier. For the final movement of the circuit, we isolate the core with supine bicycle crunches, targeting the obliques and transverse abdominis. Notice the dangerous gap between your lower back and the floor here. To fix it, tuck your pelvis until your spine is glued to the mat. Now make your abdominal wall the primary hinge point for the rotation, rather than yanking on your neck. A properly anchored core protects your spine from the heavy systemic fatigue that will inevitably hit you during the final rounds. Now that you have the mechanics down, it is time to work. Lock in your timer, find your clear space, and take your starting position. Start your clock. Explode into those squat jumps. Channel all your kinetic energy into launching this workout. While you move, continuously scan your body. Keep your chest lifted and make sure your weight is driving back into your heels every single time you land. You have 5 seconds left in this block. Keep the pace high and be ready to stop on a dime. Time. That is your 15 seconds of rest. Take a deep breath, drop your heart rate, and physically prepare yourself for the push-up sequence. From here, you will cycle through the push-ups, the burpees, and the bicycle crunches to finish round 1. Then you'll repeat that entire cycle 2 more times. You now have the biological knowledge and the biomechanical form to get results. How this finishes relies completely on your mental grit to push through the next 12 minutes. Let's get it done.